One of the most challenging times in mental fitness training is when we're progressing quickly. It's like we have a strategy and it's working, and we have plenty of evidence that it is working, like we're increasing the difficulty grade that we can climb. And when we're in a situation like this, we're not really interested in changing our mental game, like shaking things up. We're not interested in changing our strategy until we hit a performance plateau. So strategies have time limits, and then they lose their effectiveness. So to break through performance plateaus, we need to find a way to slow down and go deeper. We slow down to speed up, essentially. So let's use an example like learning falling as a skill, okay, practicing falling. We can have plenty of external evidence that we're progressing. We equate like taking a long fall as making progress. But what can happen is we take that long fall to get it over with. This happens a lot in our clinics, particularly when students come into the clinics. We start with top rope falls, and some students will say, well, I'm not afraid of top rope falls. Why are we starting with that? Well, we have a reason for it, because we can stage the fall to really pay attention to the subtleties of how we're practicing, and then we can build on that. So instead of having this external evidence, we can look for ways to slow down the process. We're essentially looking for where is the edge of our comfort zone and then working with that. Because when we're there, we can develop subtle awareness. Subtle awareness specifically around three things: breathing, eyes, and body. Okay, so with breathing, we can ask ourselves, after taking a fall, was I holding my breath or was I exhaling? Exhaling is a better way of doing the fall because it processes the stress. So that's the beginning. But to develop more subtle awareness, we need to ask, was I exhaling throughout the fall, or was I just exhaling initially when I took the fall and not extending that? So exhaling throughout the fall is a better way of doing that to help develop the comfort and fall properly. With the eyes, are we looking straight ahead at the wall, or are we looking down into the fall zone? So looking down in the fall zone is more helpful. It directs our attention there. We can see obstacles and so forth. But now we need to take it to the next level to dig into the subtleties of it. We might be looking down, but many students don't see anything. And that sounds kind of odd. But what's going on is their attention isn't focused in the fall zone, seeing the objects that are down there. Their attention is in their mind thinking about the fall, or maybe thinking about why they're afraid or wanting to get it over with. So we direct them to see what is in the fall zone and also to expand and have a more peripheral focus. And then, of course, at the end of the fall, letting the eyes come up into the wall so that they can be prepared for the impact. Those are all subtleties that help develop awareness. They're ways of slowing down. So that's breathing and eyes. What about the body? With the body, are you tensing and grabbing the rope? Or do you fall with proper falling posture, like arms and legs shoulder width apart and bent? Well, the latter, the arms and legs shoulder width apart and bent, is a better way of doing the fall. But digging deeper, are you jumping off, or are you sitting back and down, moving from your center? If you're moving from your center, that's an integrated way of moving your whole body-mind system into the fall. So that's a way of developing subtle awareness around the body positioning. So breathing, eyes, body. So when you're doing this, you're paying attention to the feeling of comfort that you're developing in the whole process, in your body. Breathing, eyes, body becomes the gauge that you're using for incrementing into longer falls. Mental fitness training has a lot to do with motivation. You need to become more aware of how you're being motivated. In this particular instance with falling practice, are you motivated toward taking a big fall or learning how to fall? Two very different ways of being motivated that move you toward different ends. If you're achievement motivated, you're going to hit a performance plateau. You're not going to learn the skill of falling very well because you're just practicing to get it over with, and you're not going to diminish the fear. In fact, you'll ingrain the fear and make it harder to work through in the future. If you're learning-based motivated, you can break through the performance plateau that's holding you back, in this case with falling. Because you're learning the skill of falling, you're learning it in a way that you want to be present for the stress of the fall. And that diminishes the fear because you want to be where you are in your practice process. It's a cool life lesson too. So a slow incremental process actually speeds your progress. You slow down to speed up. Think about that this week. That's the lesson. You can go to warriorsway.com, check out the full text and audio for this lesson. You can also check out our books and courses and reach out to us for your mental training needs. We'd love to work with you. Thank you.